Houston Dynamo is an American Major League Soccer club based in Houston, Texas. Founded in 2005, the club began play in MLS in 2006, and originally played its home games at Robertson Stadium on the University of Houston campus before moving to the BBVA Compass Stadium during the 2012 season. The Houston Dynamo won the 2006 and 2007 MLS Cups in their first 2 years following player and coaching staff relocation of the San Jose Earthquakes. The Earthquakes were put on hiatus until 2008. In 2008, the Houston Dynamo became the first Major League Soccer club to secure a point on Mexican soil in the CONCACAF Champions League era. The Dynamo is owned by majority owners Anschutz Entertainment Group in partnership with Brenner International Group, and world and Olympic boxing champion Oscar de la Hoya. The team's head coach is former U.S. international Dominic Kinnear. History. The team was created on December 15, 2005 when the San Jose Earthquakes players and head coach Dominic Kinnear were relocated, due to AEG being unable to secure a soccer-specific stadium. Although all of San Jose's players and Kinnear moved to Houston, the team's name, logo, history and statistics were not transferred and remained inactive in San Jose until the Earthquakes were reactivated in 2007. The Dynamo was thus officially a new team, similar to the Baltimore Ravens in the National Football League. The Houston Dynamo Mills home record attendance currently is 70,550, which was set in 2006. Inaugural season. The Dynamo played their first MLS League game on April 2, 2006 at Robertson Stadium in front of a crowd of 25,462. The Dynamo beat the Colorado Rapids 5-2, with Brian Ching scoring 4 goals, with all 4 assisted by Dwayne de Rosario. Later in the season, Houston beat established MLS clubs such as DC United, Los Angeles Galaxy, New England Revolution, Chicago Fire and FC Dallas. The Dynamo finished their first season with a November 8-13 record, earning them second place in the Western Conference. In the conference semi-final playoffs, they beat Chivas USA. They beat Colorado Rapids 3-1 in the Western Conference final to advance to the MLS Cup. Houston beat the New England Revolution 4-3 on penalty kicks after a 1-1 tie to win the 2006 MLS Cup on November 12, 2006 at Pizza Hut Park in Frisco, Texas. The game was scoreless until the second half of extra time, when New England's Taylor Twellman scored. 1 minute later, Brian Ching headed in the tying goal for Houston, and for the first time in MLS history, the championship was decided by a penalty shootout. Kelly Gray and Stuart Holden scored Houston's first 2 penalty kicks. Dwayne de Rosario and Brian Ching scored the last 2. Goalkeeper Pat Onstad saved New England's Jay Heaps penalty kick to secure the MLS Cup for Houston. By winning the 2006 MLS Cup, Houston qualified for the 2007 CONCACAF Champions Cup, 2007 season, repeat. Houston began the 2007 season by competing in the 2007 CONCACAF Champions Cup. After winning a quarter-final against Costa Rican team Puntarenas FC, Houston exited the competition in the semi-finals, beating Mexican team Pachuca 2-0 in the first leg but losing 5-2 after extra time in the return leg. Houston began its 2007 MLS League season with shutouts against Los Angeles Galaxy and Chivas USA. Houston then struggled in the regular season, losing against New York Red Bulls, Chicago Fire, Toronto FC, and New England Revolution. Due to their success in winning the MLS Cup in their first season, Houston were invited to spend a day at the White House on May 29, 2007 and meet with President George W. Bush. Houston made some significant trades during the 2007 season. They traded Kevin Goldthwait and a first-round pick in the 2008 Super Draft to Toronto FC for Richard Mooney. They traded Alejandro Moreno to Columbus Crew in exchange for Joseph Nguyen. And they traded Kelly Gray to Los Angeles Galaxy for Nate Jacqua. After regrouping and pulling off a win against FC Dallas, Houston began an unbeaten streak of 11 games and a shutout streak of 726 minutes, a new MLS record. Houston also competed in the inaugural North American Superliga, where they dominated the group stages, before losing in a semi-final shootout against Pachuca. Houston finished in second place in the regular season in the Western Conference, advancing to the 2007 MLS Cup playoffs, where they met FC Dallas in the first round. Dallas won the first leg 1-0, but Houston won the second leg at Robertson Stadium, 4-1 in extra time, to win 4-2 on aggregate. Houston faced the Kansas City Wizards in the Western Conference Final, winning 2-0 to advance to the MLS Cup championship game for the second year in a row. Just like in 2006, Houston faced the New England Revolution for the championship. Houston won 2-1 on a game-winning goal by Dwayne de Rosario in the second half, thus winning their second MLS Cup in a row. Partnership with Golden Boy Promotions. Late in 2007, Major League Soccer informed Dynamo owners and Schutz Entertainment Group that they should divest their interest in the Dynamo, as they wanted each ownership group to own only one team. AEG also owns the Los Angeles Galaxy. On November 21, 2007, it was announced that AEG was in negotiations to sell the Dynamo to a partnership of Brenner International Group and Golden Boy Promotions, owned by the famed boxer Oscar de la Hoya. On February 26, 2008, Houston Dynamo president Oliver Luck revealed the planned negotiations to the media, stating that the Houston Dynamo would be managed in majority by original owners and Schutz Entertainment Group along with newfound partners Gabriel Brenner, head of Brenner International Group, and multiple world and Olympic boxing champion Oscar de la Hoya. De La Hoya has been seen wearing Dynamo colors on his boxing uniform with a small Houston Dynamo logo on his right leg in a fight against boxer Steve Forbes. He has also pledged to help find Dynamo a soccer-specific stadium, though he has been too busy with training to participate significantly in Dynamo decision-making. He has said he would become more involved once he retires in 2009-2008 season. The Dynamo started early competing in the inaugural Pan-Pacific Championship debuted on February 20, 2008 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Houston qualified to participate in the tournament via their win as MLS Cup champions. The Houston Dynamo won their first match against Sydney FC, before finishing second place after their 6-1 loss to Gamba Osaka in the final match. The Dynamo was back on the pitch competing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The Dynamo played Municipal in the quarter-finals, winning 3-1 on aggregate at Robertson Stadium. The club lost to Deportivo Saprissa on 3-0 aggregate at Estadio Ricardo Saprissa. The Houston Dynamo opened its home opener with a 3-3 draw with Texas Derby rival, FC Dallas, after falling behind twice before a game-tying goal in the 93rd minute. The Dynamo went 0-2-4, before getting their first league win of the season in a 2-1 win over the Colorado Rapids. The Dynamo went on a 5-0-4 run to finish the season May 13, 12, claiming first in the Western Conference and second overall. The Western Conference semi-finals was played against the New York Red Bulls, with the first leg finishing in a 1-1 draw at Giants Stadium, and the second leg moving to Robertson Stadium, where the Red Bulls defeated the Dynamo 0-3 in front of more than 30,000 fans. 2009 season. The Dynamo started the new year with a quick exit from the 2008-09 CONCACAF Champions League with a 1-4 aggregate loss to Atlanta in the quarter-finals. In the regular season, Houston went on an 11-game unbeaten streak early in the season before losing to the Los Angeles Galaxy in June. The Dynamo were inconsistent the rest of the season while dealing with international competition, but still finished the season tied for first in the Western Conference with an August 9, 13 record. However, despite their better goal differential, they finished second in the Western Conference, because they lost the regular season series to the Galaxy. In the playoffs, Houston beat the Seattle Sounders 1-0 on aggregate in extra time. The Dynamo then lost 0-2 in extra time to the Galaxy in the Western Conference Final, in a game that was interrupted several times due to rolling blackouts in Los Angeles. The Dynamo reached the semi-finals of the 2009 U.S. Open Cup before losing to the expansion Seattle Sounders FC 1-2 in extra time, after former Dynamo player Nate Jacqua scored the game-tying goal in the 89th minute. 2010 season. During the 2009-10 off-season, the Dynamo saw the departures of two key players, Ricardo Clark to Eintracht Frankfurt and Stuart Holden to Bolton Wanderers. The 2010 season kicked off with a 1-1 draw against FC Dallas at Pizza Hut Park. In the home opener against Real Salt Lake, Brian Ching suffered a hamstring strain which kept him out for Euro 6 weeks. The Dynamo won the game, 2-1, on a pair of penalty goals by Brad Davis. Jeff Cameron was the next player to be lost during the season, after rupturing his PCL during a game against the Chicago Fire. The Fire won the game, 2-0. Cameron returned in August, and scored a 70th-minute header from a free kick against DC United in the Dynamo's 3-1 win on September 25 in RFK Stadium. The majority of the season saw the Dynamo win, lose, and tie almost in that order, with the club losing out on the playoffs by week 17, going only 4-7-2 since then. The Dynamo finished the season 9-15-6 and missed the playoffs for the first time since moving to Houston during the 2005-06 off-season. The Dynamo finished strong, however, with the club's only winning streak at the end of the season against playoff-bound teams at San Jose on October 16 and at home against Seattle on October 23. During the 2010 season, the Dynamo continued their season with the 2010 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. The club defeated Miami FC, 1-0, on June 29 before losing to Chivas USA, 1-3 in the quarterfinals on July 6. The Dynamo also competed in the 2010 North American Superliga, winning the group before exiting after a 0-1 loss to Morelia on August 5 at Robertson Stadium, 2011 season. The Dynamo ended the 2011 regular season in second place in the Eastern Conference with a record of 12 wins, 9 losses, and 13 draws for 49 points. This record was fueled by MVP candidate Brad Davis's league-leading 16 assists. In the Eastern Conference semi-finals, the Dynamo were matched up in a series against the Philadelphia Union, which the Dynamo won 3-1 in the home-and-home series. For the Eastern Conference final, the Dynamo traveled to Kansas City. Brad Davis was injured in the first half, but despite this blow, the Dynamo scored twice to earn their ticket to the MLS final and a chance to face the Los Angeles Galaxy. Los Angeles' home Depot Center had been selected to host the 2011 MLS final. 2 seasons prior, the Dynamo faced the Galaxy there in the Western Conference final, during which several blackouts occurred. The Dynamo were not able to power through the game, surrendering a goal to Landon Donovan in the 72nd minute. 2012 season, a new stadium. They played their first 7 MLS regular season matches on the road because BBVA Compass Stadium, the new home of the Dynamo, was being constructed and eventually opened on May 12, 2012. The Dynamo began the 2012 season with a bang, winning their first 2 matches away at Chivas USA and the San Jose Earthquakes, but they were only able to earn another 2 points from their next 5 matches, for a total of 8 points. After completion of their new stadium, BBVA Compass Stadium, the Dynamo made a victorious home debut on May 12, 2012 versus DC United thanks to a Brad Davies strike in front of a capacity crowd of 22,039 that would mark the beginning of what would be an unbeaten year for the Dynamo at home, posting a year-end home record of 11-0-6. The Dynamo's MLS regular season was marked by ups and downs and changes in formation from a 4-4-2 to 4-3-3 and back again by longtime manager Dominic Kinnear. Despite star centre-back Jeff Cameron's transfer to Stoke City mid-season, the Dynamo went unbeaten with a record of 5-0-2 from July 3 to August 3, marked by superb play from captain Brad Davis, Callan Carr, newcomer Makumba Kanji, new designated player Oscar Bonique Garcia, and the emergence of Will Bruin as a prominent goal-scorer, who subsequently went on to lead the Dynamo in scoring with 12 regular season goals. However, Some late-season lapses caused the Dynamo to drop from second to fifth in the Eastern Conference and only make the playoffs as the wild card. 2012 playoffs, the Dynamo traveled to Chicago to face the Chicago Fire in the MLS wild card match. Buoyed by 2 goals by Will Bruin, the Dynamo held on to a 2-1 victory in Chicago. The Dynamo then faced the top seed in the Eastern Conference, Sporting Kansas City in the Eastern Conference semi-finals, which was played over 2 legs. Behind goals from Adam Moffat and Will Bruin, Houston extended their unbeaten streak at home to 29 games in all competitions, handing Kansas City a 2-0 loss in the first leg in front of 20,689 fans at BBVA Compass Stadium. In front of a crowd of 20,894, Kansas City defeated the Dynamo 1-0, but the Dynamo survived 2-1 on aggregate. The Dynamo advanced to face DC United in the Eastern Conference Finals, with the first leg being played in Houston. Houston won the first leg 3-1, behind goals from Andre Hainault, Will Bruin, and Kofi Sarkodie in front of 22,101 fans. In the second leg, a 33rd-minute goal from Oscar Benique Garcia gave the Dynamo a 1-1 draw, and the Dynamo held on for a 4-2 aggregate win and advanced to their second straight MLS Cup to face the Los Angeles Galaxy. MLS Cup 2012 was hosted by LA. In a rematch of the 2011 MLS Cup, this time in front of a sellout crowd of 30,510. After getting a goal from Callan Carr in the 44th minute, the Dynamo held a 1-0 half-time lead. However, the second half turned the game on its head, beginning with Carr's ACL tear suffered in the 59th minute. 1 minute after this injury, the Galaxy equalized through Omar Gonzalez's header. 5 minutes later, Landon Donovan sealed the Dynamo's fate just as he had the year before with a penalty after Ricardo Clark handled the ball in the area. Robbie Keane added a third goal for LA. In stoppage time, and LA were crowned MLS champions for 2012. The Houston Dynamo managed significant achievements during 2012. During the 2012 season, they were undefeated at home, part of what would eventually become a 36-match unbeaten streak in all competitions that stretched across 2 stardoms and parts of 3 seasons. Will Bruin emerged in his second year with the team as their leading goal scorer. Newly acquired designated player Oscar Benique Garcia had a productive half-season, and by season's end had won MLS Latin Player of the Year honors. Their Mills Cup appearance in 2012 marked the Dynamo's 4th Mills Cup appearance in their 7-year existence in the league. The Dynamo topped their group in the 2012-13 CONCACAF Champions League, where they moved on to face Santos Laguna in the round of 16 of the competition to be played March 5, 2013. By finishing as runners-up in MLS Cup, they were awarded a berth in the 2013-14 CONCACAF Champions League as well. Colors and badge. The colors of the Dynamo crest are orange, black and white, with Space City blue added as an accent and border color. The star on the crest is an ad hoc adoption, likely a nod to the Houston 1836 crest concept. It also retains the soccer ball with the star in the middle from the 1836 logo, though the shadow is changed to Space City blue. With the 2006 MLS Cup win, a sanctioned star was added above the shield in 2008. After wearing the Scudetto in 2007. Since they won the MLS Cup again in 2007. They wore the Scudetto for the second consecutive year in 2008. Consequently, a sanctioned star was added to the logo in 2009 for their win at MLS Cup 2007. Name: Houston announced the name Dynamo on March 7, 2006, which refers to Houston's energy-based industrial economy, as well as a previous Houston soccer team, Houston Dynamos, who played in the Lone Star Soccer Alliance and United Soccer League. The official reason for the name is that dynamo is a word to describe someone who never fatigues, never gives up. The name is symbolic of Houston as an energetic, hard-working, risk-taking kind of town. The name Dynamo is also an homage to teams based out in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union, Dynamo Kyiv, Dinamo Bucharest, Dynamo Moscow, and Dinamo Zagreb. The team colors are orange, white, and Space City blue or Luvia blue, meant as a symbol of the City of Houston flag, which is light blue, and of yet another team in Houston's sports history, the Houston Oilers of the NFL. Originally, on January 25, 2006, the team had announced that Houston 1836 would be the team name. This followed a survey for the fans to provide suggestions for the name. According to MLS and AG, who chose the name, the 1836 name referred to the year that the city of Houston was founded by brothers Augustus Chapman Allen and John Kirby Allen. The name had perceived ambiguity, however, as it is also the year of Texan independence from Mexico. Houston 1836's logo featured a silhouette of General Sam Houston, one of Houston's and Texas' most famous historical figures. The choice of Houston 1836 soon became a political issue. It raised a furor among some locals of Hispanic descent, a major target audience, who related 1836 with the War for Texas independence. Due to protests from Hispanic fans, the name was changed to the Dynamo. The Mills has since not allowed any online surveys to name expansion teams. Stadiums. BBVA Compass Stadium. On December 2, 2010, Harris County and the Houston Sports Authority reached an agreement for the €20,000 22,000-seat soccer-specific stadium in downtown Houston east of Minute Maid Park, across Highway 59, which would be the third sporting facility for downtown Houston. The venue, now known as BBVA Compass Stadium, opened on May 12, 2012 against DC United. On February 5, 2011, Houston Dynamo players, accompanied by Dynamo owner Philip Anschutz and equity partners Oscar de la Hoya and Gabriel Brenner, Houston Mayor Inez Parker, Harris County Judge Ed Emmett, Houston Dynamo President Chris Canetti, amongst others, participated in the groundbreaking of the Dynamo's new stadium in front of a few thousand fans. Construction began later that month. Spectators will be able to experience unobstructed views from both the lower and upper seating bowls, which are supported by a single concourse. The concourse provides full access around the stadium with easy access to concession and toilet facilities. The fan experience will be enhanced by modern sound and video elements throughout the stadium. Fully integrated broadcast facilities will allow viewers and listeners to feel part of the atmosphere. Aside from Major League Soccer and international soccer matches, the new Dynamo Stadium also hosts Texas Southern University football, concerts, boxing matches, and much more. With its downtown location, the new stadium is now a part of a true stadium district, which already features Minute Maid Park and Toyota Center, as well as other amenities and attractions such as the George R. Brown Convention Center, the Hilton Americas, Discovery Green, and Houston Pavilions. Houston Sports Park. The training facility for the Dynamo first team and academy teams is located at the Houston Sports Park. Opened in 2011, the complex features 7 soccer fields, field lighting, and parking. All of the fields feature Bermuda grass, except one that contains field turf. One of the fields, entitled the Methodist Champions Field, is reserved exclusively for use by the Dynamo and visiting professional teams. The remaining fields are available for public rental. Future plans for the complex will see the construction of a Methodist Hospital Physical Therapy Center and a competitive edge sports performance facility. The complex, located 10 miles south of BBVA Compass Stadium, was built through a partnership with the City of Houston. Club culture, supporters. The Dynamo enjoyed good fan support in its first season. Their first ever match attracted 25,462 fans against Colorado Rapids on April 2, 2006. Attendance gradually declined throughout the remainder of the spring and summer months. During July and August they played 5 matches at Robertson Stadium, and the average attendance for those matches was 10,348. The team's attendance figures received a boost on August 9 when they played a game against Los Angeles Galaxy in Houston's Reliance Stadium as part of a doubleheader, with the other game being an exhibition match between FC Barcelona and Mexican side Club Arma Copyright Rica, which attracted a crowd of 70,550. Home attendance began to rise again as the weather cooled and the playoffs approached. For the 2006 season they averaged 18,935 over the 16 regular season home games. Attendance remained high during their playoff run, where home attendance was 17,440 and 23,107 in games against Chivas USA and Colorado Rapids. Dynamo fans contributed greatly to the sellout crowd of 22,427 in the 2006 MLS Cup, which was played about 275 miles from Houston, in Frisco, Texas. There are currently 4 officially recognized supporter groups: Texian Army, La Bateria, Brickwall Firm and El Batalla Den. Mascot. In 2007, Houston started a search for a mascot by asking members of the Art Institute of Houston to submit drawings, from which several finalists were selected and an official mascot would be decided through an online poll, both for the mascot design and name. The winning design, by Eric Halsey and Leslie Lopez, was of an orange-haired fox and named Dynamo Diesel. He was unveiled at Houston Zoo on April 3, 2007. Dynamo Diesel began working alongside the Houston Dynamo marketing and community outreach programs. He is not only present at games, cheering on the team, but also joins the Houston Dancers, the Dynamo Girls, helping to promote the Dynamo in Houston. The Dynamo Girls were featured in an episode of the MTV reality series Made. Rivalries. The Houston Dynamo's main rival is FC Dallas. The two teams play for El Capitan, a cannon that goes to the regular season victor. The Dynamo have also developed an intra-league rivalry with Sporting Kansas City. The team's main international rival is Pachuca. The Houston Dynamo and Pachuca have faced each other in the North American Superliga as well as the CONCACAF Champions League since 2007 and have a combined record of 3-3-1. Revenue and profitability. The Dynamo's revenues have increased significantly since moving into BBVA Compass Stadium in 2012, propelling the team into profitability. The Dynamo doubled their season ticket sales to 12,000 within 1 year of moving into the new stadium. Sponsors. On August 24, 2007, the Houston Dynamo reached a 4-year sponsorship deal with Houston-based retail electricity provider, Amigo Energy, worth $7.5 million. Amigo Energy became the official jersey sponsor. The Dynamo were the 5th league team to sign jersey sponsors. The Amigo Energy logo appeared on all team jerseys, along with other on-field gear, and Amigo Energy also became the official home and business retail energy provider of the Dynamo. On December 7, 2010, the team announced Green Star Recycling as their new corporate jersey sponsor. The deal was worth $12.7 million over 3 years, with 2 additional option years, making it the largest sponsor in team history. The Green Star logo appeared on Dynamo game jerseys and all team apparel. Green Star had managed all recycling and waste management services at BBVA Compass Stadium. The deal ended amicably after just over 2 years to facilitate Waste Management's acquisition of Green Star. Broadcasting, television. For the 2013 season, CSN Houston will broadcast between 15 and 20 Houston Dynamo Major League Soccer matches as part of a 3-year deal. On February 8, 2012, the Houston Dynamo and Spanish-language television partner Multimedios Houston reached a broadcast agreement for the 2012 season which includes broadcast of 16 Dynamo regular season games plus a weekly, 30-minute studio show and Dynamo Al Dahar, a daily 15-minute show that provides interviews and team-related content. Multimedios was previously a television partner of the Dynamo from 2006 to 2009. Broadcasts, available in high definition, feature play-by-play broadcaster Ernesto Chavana and color analysts Willie Gonzalez and Heliodoro Hinojosa. Previous local TV broadcasters, Fox Sports Houston, KHOUDT Channel 11.2, KYAZ Azteca Houston, Radio. In January 2013 the Dynamo announced the start of a new multi-year deal with GAL Media. Effective for the 2013 season, Yahoo! Sports Radio 1560 AM will broadcast all Dynamo games with play-by-play announcer Matt Pedersen, along with a 30-minute pre-game and 30-minute post-game show. Select games will simulcast on sister station ESPN 97.5 Fathoms, when scheduling allows. The deal also includes a weekly radio show hosted by Houston soccer personality Glenn Davis, Dynamo All Access, airing on Monday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. beginning January 21, 2013. The deal ends the relationship with the only other radio station the club has had since its inception, KBME Sports Talk 790 AM. Spanish radio broadcasts are carried by KEYH 850 AM La Ranchera, with Daniel Medja calling play-by-play and Alex Parra providing color. Players and staff, current roster, as of January 21, 2014. Out on loan, notable former players. This list of former players includes those who received international caps while playing for the team, made significant contributions to the team in terms of appearances or goals while playing for the team, or who made significant contributions to the sport either before they played for the team, or after they left. It is clearly not yet complete and all-inclusive, and additions and refinements will continue to be made over time. See also all-time Houston Dynamo roster, team officials, owner, and Schutz Entertainment Group, equity partners, Oscar de la Hoya, Brenner International Group, senior club staff, President of Business Operations Chris Canetti, Executive Vice President Steve Powell, Senior Vice President David Tagliaferro, Coaching Staff, Head Coach Dominic Kinnear, Assistant Coach Steve Ralston, Assistant Coach Wade Barrett, Assistant Player Coach Brian Ching, Goalkeepers Coach Tim Hanley, Head Athletic Trainer Theron Eanes, Assistant Athletic Trainer Rory Blevins, Director, Soccer Operations Nick Kauber. Equipment Manager Mike Porter, Team Operations Coordinator Justin Andrews, Achievements Mills Cup, winners, 2006, 2007, runners-up, 2011, 2012. MLS Supporters Shield, runners-up, 2008. MLS Western Conference, winners, 2008, winners, 2006, 2007. MLS Eastern Conference, winners, 2011, 2012. North American Superliga, runners-up, 2008. Pan-Pacific Championship, runners-up, 2008. Minor trophies, Texas Derby winners, 2006, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2012. Carolina Challenge Cup winners, 2006, 2007, Texas Pro Soccer Festival winners, 2008, MLS Reserve Division winners, 2008, 2012, Dynamo Charities Cup winners, 2009, 2010, 2013. Seasons. Note: eliminated in the qualification semi-finals. Records, international tournaments. The Dynamo participated in competition against international clubs for the 2 years following their inaugural season. By virtue of their MLS Cup victories, the Dynamo entered the CONCACAF Champions Cup and the North American Superliga. During the 2008 season, the Dynamo participated in the inaugural Pan-Pacific Championship as well as the inaugural CONCACAF Champions League. Rivalry results. Note: FC Dallas won on away goals rule, 4-2 key, note: section Pachuca won on penalty kicks, 4-3. Team records, MLS regular season only, through December 13, 2013, average attendance, notes: the 19% increase in regular season attendance from 2011 to 2012 coincides with the Dynamo's move into their new stadium. Highest attended matches, references. External links. Official website.